You might have heard of this little film called 50 Shades of Grey. Well, it's coming out today, and if you haven't seen the billboards everywhere and the commercials and all that, we're going to show you a little bit and then talk about some stuff.
Do romance. My tastes are very singular. You wouldn't understand.
Enlighten me then.
All right, bondage, sex, humans doing things that they do. People are going completely crazy. Interestingly, bondage sex toys have been selling through the roof. Just basically, it started with the book, and now it's going into this movie being released. Things like leather paddles, blindfolds, horsehair floggers, wrist cuffs, bondage rope, and riding crops. We're showing you a few of those. These are from Jayar's personal collection right there. Also, according to the New York Times, Benoit balls in particular have been selling like hotcakes. Let's look at some Benoit balls. I'm unclear as to what the Benoit ball. Can either one of you clarify?
Well,
as to
of
what
course,
the,
there's goggles. I mean, so also
There's a goggle
this was
feel.
explained to me off
Yes.
air what they actually are. So I'll let you guys explain it because I'm not going to do it. But it seems once it's inside,
Yeah, you
then
can say that. We're on the internet.
is it taking pictures? Is it taking
Oh,
360-degree angles? These look like cameras.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about being like surveilled by everyone,
Yeah.
now you're a canal.
Yeah, we just did a segment on surveillance, so we'll link to that right here so you know what he's talking about. I don't think Benoit balls have cameras in them, but God only knows.
It'll tell you how your cervix is doing. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Alonso, you saw the movie already.
yeah.
You saw the movie, so
Yeah.
without spoiling, we don't do spoilers here on the Rubin Report.
Is there sex in it?
Is there any sex in the film?
A little bit. But boy, is it not interesting at all. We talked about this on What the Flick this week. This movie is, oh God, I don't even know how to talk about it. On the one hand, the one interesting idea it has is that basically it's about a submissive who out-dominants her dominant. You know, she's the one really kind of, driving the wagon here, even though he's the one who's supposedly in charge. But the movie is much more interested about dragging him into what it sees as a sort of conventional normalcy than it is about exploring BDSM. And they don't really explain it very well. It never looks particularly fun, and it sort of fetishizes the idea of fetish. Like
That's interesting.
there's more shots of like his rows of riding crops in the secret red room than there is of them being used.
So that's interesting. So without getting too into the movie, since obviously we haven't seen it, what do you make of when this book came out that suddenly people felt like they could talk about this stuff, and now the movie's coming out and people are doubling down and feeling like, to me, we live in a time where we're so oversexed. There's porn online, obviously. Did you know about the porn online?
What is it?
It's on the computer. I know you're not big on technology.
It's like the downloading.
Yeah, just
Does
trust
it
me.
come in those goggle balls?
There's porn in those things. But that we're so oversexed already, it almost seems silly to me or something that this movie could get people excited because all this stuff is out there. If you want to find out about pretty much anything, it's all out there, right?
Well, yeah, and then I think part of it, I don't think it was Louis Vuitton, some leather maker said, hey, you know what? We'll strap a couple of these strap-ons and balls and well, I don't know what the hell these things are, but and we'll put it with our leather name on it.
Yeah.
LVs everywhere. So I mean, it's opportunity, and the fact that we keep missing that is amazing to me. That everybody runs up and goes, oh yeah, I'll buy one, and then they go, really? Is there something good just in
This
terms?
is such a weird culture about sex.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we all have the internet and we all have access to every kind of porn on earth. But I think for a lot of people, this is such a taboo subject. And somehow this book, these 3 books, got through to a segment of the American population that doesn't talk about this stuff, that doesn't think about this stuff, that never wanted to explore this stuff, and now suddenly is kind of titillated by it. And
Right.
I'm all for people expanding their sexual horizons wherever they find it. It doesn't make these books good literature, doesn't make this a good movie,
Right.
but if it encourages people to explore their own sexuality, great, that's terrific. When you see the 50 Shades of Grey licensed merchandise end cap at Target,
Right.
which is a real thing that I saw.
Literally a Target.
Literally at Target, next to the condoms, this end cap of like blindfolds and all with the branded thing, it's sort of like, no. I guess, but there are stores that have more and better options. But if this is your starter kit at Target, knock yourself out.
Right. So I get that. Like I do get that. Like they become so commercialized. I mean, that's what you're saying too. That this stuff becomes so commercialized that Louis Vuitton's okay putting their name on this stuff, and then it's at Target. But isn't that sort of the point? Like as progressives, right?
You're taking it out of the shadows.
Yeah, getting it out of the shadows, and that someone could buy a freaking whip at Target and throw it in their thing next to the dog food, and it's like nobody cares because guess what? People are doing this stuff.
That's the thing. People will care. I mean, I get it, and I love sexual freedom, all for it. Now, Targets are generally community stores. I feel like my Target employees know me.
Yeah.
Is that right? They know my purchasing history. They know that I buy pull-ups because I have a 3-year-old kid. Like, oh, how's the kid? They just know when my kids are
Look, drive 2 miles, you'll be at another Target where no one knows you.
There's plenty of Targets out there.
Yeah, there is, and I go to all of them. Yeah. It just seems like that's why there's particular stores for it.
Yes, that's why you go to the pleasure chest, because they don't necessarily know your name.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they do, they know that what you buy, and that's great too.
That's fine.
Yeah. So final thought on this. Okay, 50 Shades of Grey. It seems to me that naturally what has to come next is 50 Shades of Gay. I'm not the first one to come up with that brilliant title. But that does seem, it seems to me that the next thing that is going to come out of the closet, no pun intended, is you're going to start seeing more gay sex. Like that seems to be the next thing. Like we've gotten to the point where we pretty much almost have marriage in all the country. I know we're still working on 12 states or something. But the next thing is that you're going to have to see gay people having some sort of affection, which they still don't even do well in movies.
Actually, here's what the next thing is, because there were 2 different movies at Sundance that dealt with this. It's about straight guys in the media allowing themselves to explore their gay side without having to claim gay as an identity. We're going to see more straight guys in movies and TV, like making out with dudes, and more so, and not like being wigged out about it. That's the next frontier.
You'll be watching that, will you?
Because that's the thing. I mean, this is the takeover of the gay, right? This is what trying to convince straight guys that they can make out and then not be.
Yeah, because you're
So
hanging
whose
on
agenda
to
is this?
Right,
Is the question.
You're hanging on to your
We're doing it for
sexuality.
you.
Yeah.
It's for you to relax and calm down. Because there was a really, speaking of Sundance, there was a documentary there called The Mask You Live In that was about how we do such a crappy job of raising men in this society because we teach them to shut up their feelings. We don't let them have intimate friendships with other men at a time in their life when they need it because they're all like, no homo.
Right.
So, if 2 straight friends feel like they can confide in each other about their feelings and like hug each other occasionally and not have conniptions about how somebody's going to think they're gay, that's only good.
Right. So we need to do more segments about that because this is the same thing about girls in college. They're allowed to make out with other girls. It doesn't mean they're a lesbian.
Right.
You see a guy making out with a guy, that's it. Gay for life. Anyway, what do you think? We were all over the place there. What are you into sexually? Let us know in the comments right down below.